It's just like unfortunate and unique timing that Stan Lee passes right here. I mean, because I feel like this is a way to celebrate his art and his creation and kind of like its unique original form in a way. And I mean, it's not in the comic book paper, but this is how we looked at it in the comics. So, yeah. I mean, how does it feel just to be a part of that legacy now, and for you guys to wear like that uniform to really be in the Spiderverse, you know?
You said, what's it like?
Yeah.
It's an honor. You know, and it's really, you know, it's really unfortunate that he passed now, but I am glad that he was alive while we were making this. And I hope that he had seen some of it and knew what we were trying to do with it, because I do think this is the beginning of something very special, and it's all based in his imagination. So something that all started in between somebody's ears, 50-odd years later, is hopefully exploding into something new.
Yeah.
And that feels pretty cool to be, you know, a small part of it. Oh! Act super normal. Selecting a bagel.
Spider-Man?
You know, that's funny. I get that a lot.
Hey.
Spider-Man? He took a bagel!
All right, time to swing, just like I taught you.
When did you teach me that?
I didn't. It's a little joke. Team building.
Hey!
All right, you ready?
Of course I'm not ready. I can't do this shit!
Everybody knows that the best way to learn is under intense, life-threatening pressure. Oh, come on.
Uh-oh. Target's been spotted.
What are you doing down there?
I run better than I swing.
You gotta swing or they'll catch you. This is what you wanted. Aim with your hips. Look where you want it to hit. Doing it. Double tap to release and whip it out again.
Okay.
Whip and release. And whip, release. Whip and release. You're an natural. Whip, release. Feel the rhythm? Good, Miles.
I gotta say, you're amazing, man.
We're a little team. Me as the teacher who can still do it. You as the student who can do it, just not as good. I'm proud of us. Is there something you want to say to me?
Peter!
And how about for you, Shameik? I mean, because I feel like in this one year, I got a Black Panther and a Black Spider-Man, and I'm almost like overdosed on like nourishment of like imagery that I needed in my life. Like, how does it feel like just era of creation and filmmaking, and for you to be a part of this character that plays into that story?
I feel like representation is extremely important, and I'm humbled by the opportunity. I was chosen out of hundreds of thousands of people that auditioned for this role, the way Miles was chosen out of hundreds of thousands of people that live in Brooklyn to wear the mask.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Spider-Man, you know, and nobody else is other than this guy.
Yeah.
You know? But at the same time, that's totally incorrect, because that's not the message of this movie. The message of this movie is that we are all Spider-Man and we can all wear the mask, which is why it's important that I am Spider-Man, because I am Black and I am representing a Black character who's also Puerto Rican.
Right.
You know, and we're being represented differently these days. And yeah, we were deep in the governor's convention ball awards show. Michael B, Lupita, Mahershala Ali, Shameik Moore, Oprah, and Cicely Tyson. Let's talk about it. We was deep up in there. It's a new world, but past that, it's all about original content. You know, to me, it's cool to be represented, but you know what's gonna be better? For us to make our own superheroes. You know what I'm saying? And let's make our own superheroes, let's make our own characters. You know, we don't need to be 007. What's the new 007? You know what I'm saying? Don't take it from them. Let's create our own, you know? That's the mindset I'm on. You know, so yeah, representation is important.
What do you think of some of the things that each person that now could step up and be the Spider-Man? Like what's the challenge? Is it the courage? Is it the confidence? Like what does somebody need to like adopt to fully embrace and become their own Spider-Man? You know.
I think, you know, it's like what's happening in the world right now. When if something's not happening in this world that you don't like, there's one thing to do, and you could sit on Twitter and complain about it, and there's another thing to go out and try to change it. And what it takes to actually change it is courage, because there's going to be somebody who's going to say no to you, and there's going to be somebody who tries to kick you back. And what it takes to be Spider-Man is to know somebody might kick at me, but I'm not going to stop until I win.
You know, I just want to piggyback on that. You know, a big point in this thing. I want all the kids to know, you know, I was made fun of about my name as a young guy. You know, Shameik is a, you know, but they'd be like, oh, you have a girl name, whoop, whoop, whoop. But that's what makes me unique. You know, my name, how I carry myself. And, you know, people will make fun of the things that are different about you that they can't relate to. Like, oh, you like to wear your clothes like this? Well, that's weird because we wear our clothes regular. You shouldn't be wearing sandals with or your shirt backwards because of this and that. Or, you know, you shouldn't be wearing a skirt or a whatever, purse. But it makes you you. That is what makes you Spider-Man. You know, you don't go into a room trying to be everyone else and think that you're going to be the one that's Spider-Man, the chosen one, the one that the spider chooses. You don't do that. You got to stand out. You got to be yourself. You got to own it. And that's where the confidence comes in at, owning who you are in order to you know, be Spider-Man. That is what makes you Spider-Man, and anyone can wear the mask.
Appreciate you guys' time, all the way from Young Meek to Shameik.
Ah, man. Yes.
Pleasure.
Take care, bro.
Thank you.
Take care.
Needless to say, I keep watching. She was on back, nevertheless. Calling it quits now, baby, I'm a wreck. Bring me a wreck. Ooh, certain things you just can't refuse.
Miles.
She wanna drive me.
Miles!
Yeah.
Are you finished packing for school?
Yeah. You'll be left in the dust. My last shirt. You're the sunflower.
Come on, you a grown man now. Let's show these teachers that.
Where's my laptop?
¿A dónde lo dejaron?
No
Hey,
sé.
if you want me to drive you, we gotta go now.
No. I'll walk.
Personal chauffeur going once.
It's okay.
María, este nene me tiene loca. Miles, gotta go.
In a minute. In a minute.
In a minute. Papa, llámame. See you Friday.
Okay, mommy. Hasta luego.
Oh, look who's back. Yo, what's going on, bro?
Hey, I'm just walking by. How you doing?
No te olvides de dónde vienes.
Seguro que sí.
Yo, Miles, you feel that earthquake last night?
Oh, what you talking about? I slept like a baby last night.
How's that new school?
So easy.
We miss you, Miles.
You miss me? I still live here. Wait, you miss me? Come on. Seriously, Dad, walking would have been fine.
I am.
What part of Brooklyn?
Well, just under the L on Myrtle Avenue.
Okay. All right. I'm from Brownsville originally.
Oh, wow. All right.
But I've been a big fan of you for so long. I mean, of course, New York Undercover and Dexter, like kind of things that just stick out so much from watching all those seasons with you. But you seem to always have this relationship to the police.
Do, right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So do you when it's outside of the movie set and things are happening, whether it's like community, social justice stuff with the police, do you feel like you have like this deep understanding from playing like all these characters that were in some way relational to law enforcement?
You know, that's a really interesting question. I do. My dad was a cop. One of my cousins is in the DEA, so I do feel I have more of an understanding. You know, it's not ever something I wanted ever to follow as a career choice, but I do seem to attract that kind of thing. I mean, obviously I played a ton of other stuff, but those are the things that resonate the most with people, which is really, really interesting. It's the relationship to that.
Yeah.
So I do feel like I have more of an understanding in some ways.
So and you're also a twin. So when you see like this Spiderverse,
I'm trying to get my twin on The Voice.
when you see these characters and these multiple Spider-Men and everything else, I mean, like, what was your multiverse with you and your twin sister living, your different lives, did you ever feel like y'all were two of the same people and doing different things? You know?
Yeah, that's so funny, Jamal, because I was thinking about that yesterday because I watched a documentary about triplets and that were separated at birth and then brought back together. But I was thinking, well, in Spider-Man, what would be in your Spiderverse? Like, where would you be with your twin sister? And you know, we lived apart for 14 years. She lived in London and was performing and was on the West End, which is like Broadway in New York. So in some ways, I felt like we were living like sort of parallel, alternate lives.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting that you say that. I mean, it's not something I would want us to do again. I don't want us to be separate and be in different universes. I only want us to be in the same one.
Ave Maria, este nene me tiene loca. Miles, gotta go.
Fans, I know Spider-Man fans and comic book fans, they're always so excited to see a movie like they should be. They're always great. But when you're a part of a voice, like how different is it for you, like just to anticipate seeing the finished product that you didn't get to see in the process, you know, when it's an animated film?
Well, I think it's such an interesting thing because you have no idea what to expect. I had no idea what to expect, right? And so I just thought, I hope, I didn't screw it up in some way. And then just see it and be like, what?
Yeah. And they made your character, I mean, I felt guilty. Look at, like, she was fine. I was like, wow.
She was pretty cool,
Miss Morales
right?
is fine.
I feel like,
yeah, cool.
yeah.
They gave her curves and everything. She was cute.
They did, actually.
And lastly, I mean, just, was Stan Lee a real-life hero? That's just...
He is now.
Yeah.
I have to say, I missed meeting him, so I didn't have that incredible pleasure, but in some ways I feel like everything about this movie is meeting him. It's his legacy and we get to bring that to life, so that's a pretty incredible gift that he left all of us. And to be part of bringing to people is pretty sweet.
Well, I always like to see you on film or stage or hear your voice in animation, so keep doing your thing. We'll keep on watching you.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Who are you?
I'm Gwen Stacy. I'm from another dimension.
How many more spider people are there?
Hey, fellas.
Hello.
This could literally not get any weirder.
It can get weirder. My name is Peter Porker.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person. Miles, where did you go?
Can Spider-Man turn invisible?
Not in my universe. Wow, this is incredible. Some kind of fight or flight thing.
What's that? Hey, Peter. I think this is a cape.
Whoa. I mean, I wanted to talk to everybody about like this amazing legacy that Stan Lee left, but I feel like you guys are the best people to talk to in this, since y'all was part of that process. I mean, is this like the ultimate like project just to see his work in? I mean, because I know his stuff came from the comic book world and the animation, and it's just like good to see the comics in this form again, and right at this unfortunate time, and like how.
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking a lot about Stan in the last few days and what he meant to us. We started this journey when we were 11 years old in a comic book shop, and Stan Lee would write these letters, and they were to all the fans, and they were so welcoming and inclusive, and they were funny, and they were sweet, and you just got the sense that this guy wanted to include you in this enterprise of telling these stories. So, that's in all of his writing. That's what like Peter Parker is all about, right? Yeah. Who's basically like a Jewish kid from Queens, who's lower middle class in the 60s, and they picked him to be this superhero instead of like a handsome guy from outer space or a billionaire or the prototypical hero character. So that move is radical.
And so Miles and all the other characters are a logical outgrowth of that, of saying like, here's a way to say like, it's democratic. Anybody could be behind the mask. It doesn't matter. If you get bit by that spider, you better step up, you know?
Yeah.
But also, like, I know that you feel weak. I know that you feel like this is kind of silly. I know, and I know that, like, it's kind of funny sometimes, but it doesn't mean it's any less important or you're any less capable. And that the power of that message when you're 11 to read that to me is like why we wanted to make the movie. Is to like have another 11-year-old and who's like doesn't have to be like a white boy. It could be a girl. It could be an African American Puerto Rican kid from a blended family. Like you could be a Japanese American girl from the future.
And he's saying you're not alone, and that's like the message of the movie.
Did you get any insight into like why he started that journey to create these characters just for working with? Like, did he give you any backstory on why that insight that you have that he wanted to make it democratic? Like,
I mean, I don't know that he's never spoke to us about that. I mean, he's written about it, and we just went into a little dive into his writing about his work because we were trying to come up with those quotations that we used at the end. And it's really interesting. One of the things he said is that like the most powerful thing the biggest superpower is love. Yeah. And it's the thing that all of us have. Yeah. But he also talked about how they were just trying to come up with like, what if there was like a superhero with regular problems? And there are also these guys like that are the sons of immigrants that are living in New York, and they're telling a story about themselves and how they feel like they're not necessarily looked at like, you know, heroic people, but they can do heroic things. Yeah. And so he wrote about that stuff. You know, when we were with him, we just like were recognizing how warm and welcoming he was just as a guy. Because we're just dopes. They're like, oh, it's good. We're like trying to make it in the animation business.
Yeah. We met him many years ago.
Big fans.
And it was so encouraging to us and inspiring. And so, you know.
How many like tens of thousands of people went up to him and was like, I'm such a fan. And he was so kind to everybody.
Yeah. And so this is sort of a chance to pass on that legacy and try and inspire a whole new generation of kids.
And for you guys to step up, just wear the mask just like him. You got to be the next Stan Lee, so
well, I don't know. I wouldn't say that, but you know, we just try to like carry the torch a little while. Yeah, I mean, like take the baton and go like, I'm gonna take this a little bit down the road and hopefully give it to somebody else.
Well, this is a good step in that direction. Thank you guys.
Good, man.
Thank you so much.
Oh man, thank you so much. This was really fun. This was like a really fun.
Perfect.